Hi everyone, we're just going to start our live. Today we are going to talk about alternate healing, and we'll wait for Dr. Shalini to join, and we'll start sharp at 6. Just allow me a moment to just set up. Hi Monica, thank you for joining. Hello everyone, we will start in a few minutes, waiting for Dr. Shalini to join, and we are going to talk about alternate healing. So just stay with us. Hi Anagat, how are you? Celebrating the World Breastfeeding Week. Yes, Dr. Shalini is here. Hi.
Hi. Can you see me?
Oh, so pretty. Yes, I can. And I see the lovely pink bling too on you.
So I thought might as well make good use of it.
So we can start. We are all set technically too. So if you are ready,
So
then we
you
can
can see
start.
me because I don't see myself at
Yes,
all because of all the notifications here. So you're able to see me, right?
yes, yes. I'll moderate the
Okay,
session, and anybody who's asking any questions, I will share as and when we can during the session.
sure.
Okay. All
Okay,
right.
we'll start.
So first of all, Dr. Shalini, thank you so much for doing this. I think this is an important subject, and people are not very aware of what are the kind of alternatives that they can opt for other than, the kind of medicines that doctors prescribe. So I think alternate healing is an important aspect where in which we need to understand our body's capabilities and also how, other healing methods of you. I think I've lost you. Sorry, I think the connectivity is
Yeah,
patchy again.
yeah,
Sorry, I
I'm here.
lost you.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. So let's start. Firstly, I think it is important for us to know what exactly is alternate healing.
Okay, so by definition, if we go, the textbook definition of alternate healing is any, methodology that is not following under the realm of the conventional medicines. So conventional medicines we talk about is the allopathic mode of medicine, which is more prevalent and for some reason has been more popular. So that
Yeah.
is anything which is not falling under that realm is known as alternative medicine.
Alternative medicine. So I have a series of questions that I thought, why not have a very holistic. So I have like 10, 15 questions. So I'll take it one by one. And
Sure.
what kind of alternative medicines are available in today's times?
Yeah, so there's a whole range, Divya, when we talk about. They have been very systematically, categorized. We can categorize them into traditional alternative medicines, the ones wherein we use the touch, or through
Okay.
diet, or through energy,
Okay.
through mind. So I'll just kind of give you a brief on each of them, and then if you want, we could discuss some of them in more detail.
Yeah.
So when I talk about the traditional healing, so we have our Ayush system of the Ayush system of alternate medicine, which is traditionally set up in India by the government in
Okay.
the past 5, 6 years. So therein
Okay.
we have from AYUSH, which is standing for our Ayurvedic, Unani, the Yoga, the Siddha, and Homeopathy. So these are the
Okay.
traditional systems of medicine. Then when we come about the touch healing, so wherein we use our touch, physical touch in the form, through our own fingers to heal the person. So there we have a very common one, which I think most of them are aware, is the chiropractic, right? So the
Okay.
chiropractitioners are the ones who will use their hands extensively to heal you. Then we have the massage therapy, right?
Right.
Also
Right.
a healing methodology. There's Tai Chi. I don't know if you're aware of it.
Right.
So these are the ones where
Yes.
we are, extensively using our hands to heal.
Right.
Then we have the diet and the herbal, because I'm categorizing them. So in the diet and the herbal, we have our supplements, wherein which are neither, which actually do not fall under the allopathic form of treatment. They are a separate header in alternate medicine, known as the supplements, where you have your vitamins, your minerals, and other supplements which need to be given along with traditional medicines. Then there's
Right.
the herbal medicines. So usually it is pronounced with
Right.
the H silent. It is known as the herbal medicines, wherein we
Okay.
use, it is not Ayurveda. Ayurveda
Okay.
has, yeah, it has a different science behind it. But the herbal medicine is wherein you use the crude form of the certain herbs, which can
Okay.
be readily available. Then, of course, we have our nutrition and diet, which is a separate, header in itself. Then comes energy healing. So energy
Very
healing is
interesting.
a very controversial topic, but it has a lot of science backing it and a lot of research going into it now. So one of the more common ones, which most people know, is Reiki, which is
Yeah,
an energy healing. Then you have pranic healing. And pranic and
yeah.
Reiki also, you do use your touch also. It can be
Okay.
falling under the touch, but it is primarily an energy. There's
And
no other thing attached to it. And then there's electromagnetic therapy, which is, I don't know if you've heard about it, but that is also supposed to, it is primarily related to the brain and how we can move
okay,
the fluids in the brain and how that can
okay,
heal you. Then
okay.
there is the something called access bar that
Right,
works on energy.
right.
Then we come to the in alternative medicine, we can also have a header of mind. So in mind, we talk
Mm-hmm.
about hypnosis. It is a healing
Ah,
therapy. Yes, so through hypnosis, there are a huge number of, especially for de-addictions, it can be very useful.
okay. Wow.
And then there's your meditation, which can
Yes.
fall under yoga also, but meditation in itself is a healing therapy.
Right.
Then we come to the sensory. So sensory is the five senses which we know of: the eyes, nose, throat, and the touch. So through by stimulating all these five senses, we can heal the body. And therein we have the art and the dance and the music therapies, which come in. And also we have
Wow.
now some new methodologies like, visualization techniques and the guided meditations, which also use all these senses to heal you.
So just wanted to, under the homeo care umbrella, do you use all these methods? It's just coming to my mind. Uh,
Yeah.
all these methods, or just specifically into a few of them?
No, we would love to have all these methodologies under our umbrella. But myself and Dr. Arvinder, we both run the homeo care. So we are
Okay.
primarily focusing on homeopathy. So we are
Okay.
homeopathic. We
Okay.
have the degree of homeopathic medicine. Then I have also done a certification course in Access Bars Consciousness, which is a
Yeah.
form of healing through energy. Also, we
I've
have,
heard about it through my friends, and they've been able to have great breakthroughs,
yes,
by practicing, and very challenging, handling special, I mean, special children
yeah,
and things like that.
yeah. And then we extensively work on meditation. So we have
Okay.
Dr. Arvinder is so meditation doesn't really require you to have a degree as such, special
Okay.
knowledge. And the more you get
Right.
and the better you get at it is what is the mantra. So Arvinder is extremely intuitive. So we
True.
both have devised a lot of programs which we keep running, through and through, which has which includes some homeopathic medicine, some lifestyle changes, and of course extensive guided meditations. So under the homeo
Awesome.
umbrella, this is what you get. Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
under the homeo care,
Great.
sorry,
Great.
under the homeo care umbrella, yeah. So these are the techniques we work
Great.
on. So it is homeopathic,
Mm.
meditation, and access back consciousness. So these are the three methodologies that we have combined. And of course, nothing can be done without diet. So we do have a lot of, because the moment you start meditating, you start working on your diet, and there's so much of clarity about so many
There's
things.
more, yeah, there's more awareness doing with your self, what you're eating, how you're getting up, how you're sleeping. It all changes actually. It's like getting
Absolutely, it
into a
does.
very disciplined thought process, and then you want to kind of do, you know, every bit of it in a right.
We are trying through the Homeocare umbrella, we are trying to promote as much mindfulness as we can, in our capacity. So because COVID times, of course, now there is a different set of um, mindset to
Yeah,
adhere to, where people are mostly interested in boosting their immunity, which of course
yeah,
mindfulness. But
yeah.
mindfulness in each and every aspect of your living
Hmm.
will just change the way you perceive things. You will be more conscious of what you do, not only with
Absolutely.
respect to your health, but with respect to every decision possibly which you take. And I think it
True.
is very important for young, for somebody younger bringing up small kids. To be involved in the process of mindfulness, because the younger you are able to train your mind to be mindful, um, I think your growth
Nothing
and the
like
way
it.
you develop as a human being would completely change, right, Divya? I mean, this is what
Um,
even otherwise, even if you,
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
I think,
I think whenever I think about mindfulness, uh, it, it actually, you actually make right decisions by being mindful,
you do.
right? You actually take the right step, and you're more confident because it's just so it comes naturally, and you've taken everything into account. Hi, Dr. Arvinder. Hello. Thank you for joining. So, yeah, I think mindfulness, we all should practice that. I think it is a wonderful technique and can do wonders.
Yeah. So
So
that is
this
so.
brings
See,
me to the yeah.
sorry, I didn't hear you.
No, I was just going to ask you the next question, but please, we can finish and then
No,
we
no,
can
no.
talk.
We can ask because I see I can just go on and on. You
I
will
know.
have to keep asking me the correct. You
in
have to
fact,
correct.
in fact, in fact, I have very limited knowledge about alternate medicine, and this is such a great conversation with you, Dr. Shalini. And please don't mind if I'm going to ask you certain things
Please
that
do.
I want to
Please do.
personally kind of. So
Please,
I'm
please.
taking this opportunity to ask you that. But honestly, it's an very insightful session that we are into today, and I hope that people who are watching us get benefited, and of course they can get in touch with you whenever they want to. So this brings me to the next question. What are the kind of ailments that can be tackled or healed through alternative medicine?
Yeah, so we can heal the entire array of the entire spectrum of so-called diseases. So right from something as simple as a cold or a cough or a fever or
Yeah.
a viral infection or a bacterial infection, to deworming in kids, to going on, like we have a lot of people coming in, especially in the season for giving something to the family if a child has chickenpox, something which would
Ah,
kind of build the immunity of the family against the so right from there to going to something more intricate like the hormonal imbalances in the body to especially your hyperthyroidism or the PCOD, PCOS
very
in
common
women,
these days.
very common things. And then, of course, going on to something as severe as cancers also. So the
Okay.
medicines work in the entire, entire spectrum. It is just that we seem to have, like you yourself said, people don't have that much information about it. So I think more of us just need to be going out and talking about it, so that more and
True.
more people become aware and are able to approach an alternate therapist as the first choice of treatment. So
Yeah.
usually an alternate therapy is not the first choice of treatment. You would have gone to your
Yeah.
regular doctor and the doctor says, okay, this is anyways going to take 7, 8 days. So you might as well, just take your, something for the fever and just the regular and just come back to me. And then it doesn't get better. And then you go back to the doctor and the doctor again says, it's nothing much. You'll get better. It'll take it. So that is when you start asking your friends and asking your somebody that what else can I do, and then somebody says, okay, there's this homeopath, why don't you talk to her, him
Mm.
about it. And that is how we usually have people directed to us. But if you have the alternate medicine as your first choice of treatment, I think we will be able to help you faster and obviously more pure.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think we need
Great.
to
And
have more conversation. Yeah, yeah. Tell me.
what is the tentative timeline it takes to heal? Okay, before that, I have a question from Surbi here. I'm just reading that
Hmm.
out to you. There are
Yeah.
so many kinds of alternate therapies, and sometimes one is confused which to follow. Also, the constant dialogue between opting for allopathy or alternate. What do you suggest? How do we choose the best therapy?
Yeah, so that's what I said. So one is being aware of all the options available to you. So
Available to you.
now with so much of internet and so much of information available so easily at the click of a button, I think it is very important, especially for the educated us lot, to actually go out and explore your options. So
Yeah.
maybe make sure you're talking to a lot of people, especially with you. So, I don't know, I'm just talking about mothers maybe right now, with them because Surbi, is asking this. So when you have children growing up and there are certain kind of illnesses you would face, as a natural form of growing up. So have a lot of information handy to you. So there are certain alternate therapies which work better in certain
Okay.
sicknesses. Okay, so
Okay.
it is very important to be to yourself be aware of various options available to you, and then of course checking that the person you're going to has the relevant degree behind them, because
Yeah.
unfortunately we do have a lot of people who have read a couple of books and seen a
Mm.
couple of people, helped a couple of people, and who feel that they are capable enough to be
Mm.
handling everything that comes to them. So it's
Mm.
important for you to do your background check, but
Mm.
once you have those few people around you, and then I think it'll be easier for you to choose, you know um, and that is where the doctor patient relationship comes into it, that amount of trust that goes in the person you're visiting. So
Right.
yeah, I think therein
Yeah.
I would say the onus would lie on you a little bit
The
more than.
person who's choosing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. So, the question that I wanted to ask was, how much time does it take? Because the normal perception is that what I hear is that it takes little longer than the normal medicines that you get from a doctor. So, how does that work?
Okay, so again, that would depend on what sickness you are coming us for and how quick you are coming to us. So if it's,
Okay.
for example, if it's a fever, you've been running high fever and you are running some other related symptoms, and you immediately come to a homeopath. We would be able to prescribe you and bring down the fever immediately. I mean, of course, you cannot wait for
Okay.
your fever to be healing over a longer period of time. So this is something we call an acute illness. So acute illness is
Hmm.
something which comes in, suddenly and has a limited span of its, even its growth,
Okay.
and yeah. So if you come in a sickness like that, we would be able to immediately help you and relieve you of your trouble. But then if you come to us after you visited a couple of doctors, wherein I'm assuming the trouble is a little more
Hmm.
serious, then
Hmm.
of course we would take a little longer than, uh,
Okay.
yeah, so we would take a little bit longer.
Okay.
And again, it would
Okay.
also depend on certain sicknesses, anyways, taking a little longer time. So because
Okay.
homeopathic medicine helps you by kind of deeply derooting the medicine, sorry, the
Okay.
sickness.
Oh, the
So in
sickness.
that
Okay.
case, then it
So it
would take.
works not on immediate relief, but absolutely eradicating that from your body. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So that is where again, it would take slightly longer then. But like I said, if it's a regular cold or a fever you're coming at too far, of course, we would be able to immediately help you. Excuse.
Hmm. There's one question that I have with me, which I had thought about, was that there are these, how do I know if the claims for therapies under alternative medicine, right, are accurate or will definitely work as they say? how do I make sure?
Again, I would recommend you do your research. You will have to. So one way is to directly ask the doctor whom you're going to visit that, there are these claims that you've read about or heard about, and whether they have actually been able to do that. So if you can directly speak to the doctor, nothing like it, I would really recommend you do that. But in case you're not able to do that, then you should be able to ask the right people, maybe somebody who's been directly treated by that person, if you can do that. Otherwise, you will have to depend on the internet and doing your due
Okay.
diligence of making
Right.
sure there is the relevant degree and the
So,
relevant
so if I go with alternative healing, am I kind of compromising my faith by using an alternative medicine?
So by faith, if you're meaning your faith with your allopathic doctor, no, not really. So there are a lot of medicines which can work along with the conventional medicines. So we are able
Okay.
to bring the two pathies together. There are a lot of doctors, as in your regular MBBS, MD doctors, who do have faith on homeopathy. So I am fortunately able to work with some of them closely. So they do recommend, okay, why don't you go and check with your homeopath also? So they are able to advise that. But yes, not all of them are that open-minded about the alternate therapies. But as a patient, you must know that if you have a good homeopath behind you, so in spite of taking the treatment with your regular conventional doctor, you can go to the homeopath and take some medicines along with it. So we are able
Okay.
to work together. So it is not
Okay.
important that you have to only be with the homeopathic medicine and you cannot
Hmm.
take anything apart from that during that course of treatment. No,
This is
it
a
is not
good
like that.
point. Yeah, yeah, I think we need to be aware of our options, and then, if we can work together, nothing like it.
Right.
Also, this brings me to few common issues that, our generation is facing these days. One is, issues with menstrual cycle, our periods. Does homeopathy help in tackling these kind of issues? Also, something, sleep disturbances. Nowadays, everyone has stress, this workload, right? And you don't get enough sleep, or a very broken and erratic pattern of sleep. So, does homeopathy, help in these situations?
Yeah, to say like a yes or no, yes, homeopathy helps you there. But it is extremely important to get the other parameters in your life also in order when you are addressing an
Okay.
hormonal problem like your menstrual troubles, or even if it's a sleep disturbance pattern. One very important aspect which we have observed is so if you have a
Okay.
clean gut, the nerves in the gut are directly connected to your brain. So the system in the body is something so complex that if you do not have a clear gut, it seems to bring on a lot of problems. So one most
Okay.
logical thing being that if your gut is not clear, the absorption of nutrients would be very poor, right? Obviously, because whatever you're eating
Absolutely.
is not being able to absorb because there's so much of ill health in your gut. But having said that, of course, one is very, very important thing is your diet, what you eat. And the other important factor when we are talking about gut health comes from your lifestyle, the kind of lifestyle you are leading. So a very small discipline, something very small as eating at the right time, sleeping at the right time, getting up at the right time, those basic things which we all know. We are all very aware of
We
that this is
all
something very important,
do.
but we are not able to follow that. But if
Yeah.
you bring your life to a discipline, and of course some other, like the ailments with homeopathic medicines, it seems to work extremely well, and we have some very, very good results with
Mm.
it. But yes, we do need your
Yeah.
support
The
in
moment
giving us
you
that.
said But the moment you said gut health, my brain immediately went to the sugar because that's something which is absolutely bad for the gut. But we all have sugar cravings. We have few, I mean, spoons of sugar in our tea, coffee, drinks. I mean, juices and cokes and all that. Can you please enlighten on what is the role of sugar and how can somebody really work towards having, or abolishing sugar completely if they can?
So there's one very
And can
interesting theory.
homeopathy help in that? If yes, I'm coming to you tomorrow.
Okay, so see, why do we have craving for sugar? So now that is very important tool. So let us get back to the fundamentals. We crave for a particular kind of food. So when you specifically small intestine, that seems to crave for sugar. And whenever you have those yeast growing in your intestines, you seem to have a bigger craving for sugar. Okay, and they are not good. I mean, obviously yeast in the intestine is not good for you. So whenever you have a craving for sugar, which is abnormal, like which is more than your normal craving, it definitely means that there is some imbalance in the body.
Right.
Okay. So whenever there are abnormal cravings, there is an imbalance in the body, and the imbalance needs to be corrected.
Correct.
And when I say that the imbalance needs to be corrected, unfortunately, to the same of eating right, having a good lifestyle, which is just the basic discipline. Actually, lifestyle is it's something very simple. It's just talking about discipline. But so actually, the answer is the same. Yes, but craving for sugar is something very common, which a lot of us do. So it is just the cry for help in your body. So please listen to it and try to make those corrections as soon as you can before it develops into something, which you will not be able to ignore anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
So please.
And I think this is leading to the next question which Surbhi is asking here. Does homeopathy help in vitamin deficiencies like vitamin D, B12, which has become very common these days? Even because of the lockdown, people are resisting to go out on walks, and you're predominantly at home, and your home may not be able to give you enough sunlight because of the kind, the way your house is structured. So, how does homeopathy help in these things?
So I will take the liberty of answering it not by the homeopathic point of view, but under our HomeoCare umbrella. So the vitamin
Yeah.
deficiencies, whether it is D, B12, or your general minerals which you lack in the body, it can be very easily corrected by something very simple, which we call the rice water. So what you have to do is take about 2 spoonful of boiled rice, which
Okay.
has been cooked. Put about 1 glass of water in it and overnight. Okay,
Okay.
and you get up in the morning and you drink this the first thing on empty stomach.
Okay.
Okay, now after that you should not be eating anything for about half an hour. You
Okay.
should give that much of time for your system to absorb the water. And if you're able to do this about 2 times a week, you will be surprised with your readings, with your vitamin D readings.
Wow. Wow.
It is something
That's a
as simple as
sweet
that.
takeaway today. Awesome.
And if you already have lower readings, as in your medical reports is showing something like 20 and other lower readings on your vitamin D levels, you can give it another boost by making sure that after about 45 minutes of consuming this rice water, you are sitting out in the sun for some time. So say
Mm-hmm.
you drink this water at about 6, and hopefully the sun is up by 7. I don't know about Bangalore, but it should be up in other parts of the country. So then you can be exposed to sun. So
Uh,
the absorption
like
of
every
water.
day, it may not be possible because of your daily routine, and you are tied up with your morning schedule. You have workout, you have breakfast, you have kids sitting for your online classes.
That's why I'm saying you could choose
So,
any 2 days a week to start with.
oh, okay, okay, I missed that. Okay, that's a
We are
great
not
tip.
talking about every
That's
day
a
here,
great
Divya. Yeah, yeah. So we are only talking about
Okay,
picking. So maybe if it's too difficult, please start with a day. So if we are
okay,
so if we talk about this, if you are only worried about not getting enough exposure to the sun, then we can start with 1 day a week, right? So we
very
start with
nice
one
tip
day a
there.
week,
Yeah.
and then you can just see how it goes, and you can, if you feel that it is making a difference, and when I say feel, again, you need to be deeply conscious of yourself, right? Only then you get those good and bad feelings also,
Exactly.
right? So don't wait
Exactly.
for the
So
body
we
to
have
cry for help
questions
before.
coming in. We have a couple of questions. So I'm taking the
Yeah.
next question, which is from Amit, and I think it's a great question that he's asking. This puts me into thinking a lot of times, and I really struggle with it. He says sleep and eating routine is out of whack, totally out of whack. And how can we get it back to normal? How can we?
Yeah.
I know
So
you will
now
say
this
discipline. I know you're going to say discipline, but
Yes.
but
So here you might need a little bit of hand holding for a while because somebody who has not been following a routine or a discipline for a long time, suddenly I ask you, kind of take you by your ear and say, from tomorrow you sleep. That might not be really practically possible. So that is the reason we talk about the consciousness programs that we run. Wherein we
okay.
handhold you and give you a daily routine for a number of days. So you kind of enroll with us for about a month, say about 30 days you enroll with us. And every day we give you a program that you need to follow the next day. And you become a part of a
Okay.
group wherein there are other people also following the same routine. And I think
Okay.
we have noticed that kind of tends to help you, in terms of
Okay.
getting those things in order. So again, the consciousness program is primarily, like I said, it is a little bit of homeopathic medicines, some basic guided breathing exercises, and of course, some diet tips which we give. So we
Right.
combine these three and we handhold you for some time, and hopefully that will help you get things in the order.
And Ishita Gupta here says that very useful and informative session. Thank you, Dr. Shalini. Myself believe in homeopathy treatment as it addresses to the problem from the root. One can't expect quick results. One needs to have patience while taking these medications. Thank you so much. So that's her comment there. Thank you so much, Ishita. This
Thank you.
brings me
Thank
to
you.
the next. I have a bowl of fruit with me.
Yes. So for some
Is
of
it a
you
good
who
now? And then we can keep continue.
like to
We
bring,
can continue taking questions.
yes. So I think Divya, you should enjoy this. So just sit back and let me take over for the next couple of minutes. So
Right.
everybody who has a cut fruit with you, I request you to please bring it out and keep it in front of you or kind of hold it in front of you, whichever way you feel more comfortable. So this is a very good exercise on how we eat mindfully. Okay, so please look at your fruit, whether it's apple, whether it's banana. Hopefully, even if it's banana, you have cut it out because then you get the whole experience of this exercise. So I want you to look at your fruit, notice the color of your fruit, yeah, and just breathe in. Just breathe in a couple of times. Looking at your fruit, the kind of texture you think it is. Is it too rough? Or is it something like an orange which has some grains on it, or something which is too smooth? I don't know if some of you have a mango, I don't know. And now just smell the fruit. Just smell it. An apple and a banana might not have too much of a smell, but just smell it. Just bring your all your senses into the exercise here. Yeah. And now I want you to close your eyes. So please close your eyes. And with your closed eyes, please pick up a piece of the fruit and put it in your mouth. Just put it in your mouth. Please don't do anything with it. Yeah, everybody has. Now start to chew on it. Just notice the juices, your saliva and the other juices which are mixing with this fruit right now. And there is a reason why we have salivation, right? So the reason for the salivation is that our body wants a part of the digestion to happen in the mouth itself. So when we mix these salivary juices and we chew our food to the fullest, so giving it, I don't know if many mothers, if your mom or your grandmom used to tell that you have to count, say 20 times or 30 times when you chew your food. Now that was the reason for it, right? They wanted you to have the experience of the fruit. Yeah. So take that extra bit to chew on it. Feel the food in your mouth, see the food, all the juices gushing in, and now gulp it in. Take it in, down your food pipe from your throat, down the food pipe, and into your stomach. Yeah. So we'll repeat it with one more piece of your fruit. So please pick up the next piece. Breathe in a couple of times. Yeah. Put it in your mouth. Notice all the juices in your mouth ready to attack the fruit. You can start the chewing process now. Yeah. Just enjoy it. Just take that extra minute to let the food be in your mouth. Let that fruit be in your mouth. Yes. Yeah. And you must, I forgot to start it in the beginning, but you must be thanking, you must be having a attitude of gratitude towards the food which you are able to consume, and take it in. Take a few more deep breaths.
Wow, I've never had food with
So
this much focus.
you please eat one meal, at least one meal or one snack a day, where you can use. I know it's not possible to eat a whole meal like this. I mean, we don't have the time, and around us who might want to have a conversation while we're eating one of our lunches or dinners. But yes, you can choose a snack or your morning fruit or something during the day wherein you can just sit and enjoy that. Take that extra 5 minutes to just be with your food. Say a small gratitude prayer before you start it. I mean, this all might appear a little, I don't know, a little offbeat, but any practice, so when we talk about be a 1 hour meditation, or it doesn't have to be that you have to get up at the muhurtam at 4 o'clock every morning and do your chanting or your prayers. Sometimes something as small as eating your meal with your 100% attention can be meditative, you know. So it is just about
Fantastic.
being present. Yeah, it's just about being in the now and ensuring that that I'm here and just being thankful for
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And also with the entire senses working all together, right? Your experience by itself is I mean it goes to another level,
It's
and
it's
then all the
magnitude. Yeah,
over
it's magnified.
yeah. And I think
Absolutely, yeah.
and you will be able to really understand when you're feeling full, because generally when you are in a
Absolutely.
hurry, you are just gulping food, and you've already crossed the threshold, and you eat more. I think thank you for this exercise. This was just amazing and
Yeah, most
eye-opening for
welcome.
me.
I've been trying to, we've been trying to, myself and Dr. Arvinder, we have been really shouting from rooftops and trying to tell it to as many people as, because, when you experience it, you believe me, you do this for about a week, just continuously do. See, anything you do, the first time you do, obviously you cannot suddenly get all the results of that immediately, but
Yeah.
just consistently, if you're even able to do it for a week and you yourself notice that has my eating slowed down in the process, or has my breathing slowed down in the process, and how has that percolated into my everyday activity? Has it has
Right.
it slowed, and suddenly you will realize it would have slowed down your thoughts, of all and in the process your anxiety would have reduced, your temper would have been more, you're able to control your temper better, your children would be suddenly not shouted at for a longer
Periods.
as
True.
small as starting, so we have to take baby steps, so we have to start
Absolutely.
somewhere. So if we can start
And
with
I
small.
think with so much going on these days with professionals, right? There are timelines to be met. This
I know.
huge workload, and you're just you are compromising on your breakfast. You're compromising on your lunch times, and then by the time the dinner comes, it's like, okay, yaar, देखते हैं, कुछ खा लेंगे. We just not
We
taking
just,
care of ourselves, and with most of us.
yeah,
I think this was a beautiful exercise, and everyone must try this out with
please try
one
it,
meal.
please, and try it for a
And
week. Yeah, try it
try
consistently
for
for a
me.
week, give it that much for it,
I'm
kind of,
going to do
before
this.
you absorbs it, and it's able to give you
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
result. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So we have a couple of questions or
Sure.
comments here. I'm just going to go over that. Um, Mr. Ujjwal Ramachandran says, very interesting chat session must be said. Thank you for this, TheiaScape and Dr. Shalini, much appreciated. Uh, Mr. Mr. Rupinder Singh is saying, very nice session. And Surbhi says, we have really forgotten mindful eating. Most meals are rushed or with some screen. So this is such a helpful reminder. Yes, I do. I must admit that with the kind of lifestyle that we have, our children are also uh, somehow eating meals with a screen time.
Yes.
They are in front of the TV, or they have a mobile in front of them, and which
Right.
I'm very guilty about. And how do we tackle that with kids? Because there are times that when you are not available to attend to them, you are engaged, and how do you tackle that?
I think again, the very way of doing it is having a routine behind it. So if you
Yeah.
have certain set timings for each snack and each meal with your child, I think you will be able to work around it a little better. So not
Okay.
waiting for that, giving those extra minutes for preparation,
Right.
ensuring the food is kept on a, if it's on a dining table you're
Dining
eating, or
table.
if it's self that extra preparation time before you do it, and just media not allowed. Simple. I think that's the
Yeah.
rule. We as mothers and as parents, I think we can just put it across. I don't think any of us have TVs in our
I,
dining.
as a mother, I always have a tug of war going on on this subject, where I'm behind. Okay, you're not going to have phone for this much time, and we've put a cap on. And still, there are times when I get stuck with work, and she sneakily goes in front of the TV, or so yeah, I mean, it's an everyday struggle, honestly. Screens are a struggle for me.
Yeah, but still,
It's just has
Divya,
to be
please be
given.
give yourself also that credit. So don't be too hard on yourself at the same time. We are all bringing up kids here, and hopefully they will, be able to be more purposeful in their lives than,
Yeah,
but
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 yeah,
please, yeah. So don't be
it
too
is
hard on
difficult.
yourself. Yeah, but trying to have a balance, maybe ensuring at least, like I
Balance.
said, starting with one meal and giving yourself that time and preparation.
Yeah,
You're eating with your child is when you, right? So maybe the lunch is a rushed hour because
wonderful
you're at
tip.
home, you're working, and you have your
Yes,
meetings to be. So then let that be okay. You let that go, and
dinner
then
can
don't be
be.
too guilty about it. Because you know there is
Yeah,
another time during the day when you would be available and you will ensure there is no media before the child, right? So then I think we just
awesome.
balance it out.
Yeah,
So because if we start being too
yeah.
harsh on
So I'm
ourselves,
gonna
we
try
can
this. I
do
know,
that.
I know. So one more. Yeah. After eating few, this is Sachin Gupta, and he says, after eating few bites, as you suggested, now I understand why our parents recommended us while eating, no speaking, watching TV. True, that's true. And Miss Surbi Kapar, so now I have a few questions, and then I think we can go on to another exercise that you wanted to do. We have another 15
Yeah.
minutes. Um, Yeah. Are alternative medicines therapies attention to positive? Are they spiritually positive?
No. See, spirituality, I think that's a progression which hopefully most of us are able to be there. But no judgments about somebody who's not into it. No, as a medicine, it is not really related to spirituality, not at all. So if you come to a home, if you visit a Ayurvedic consultant, or if you are going to any of the Unani or the Siddha medicines, they will take your symptoms, or they will ask you for certain lab reports, and they will prescribe you like a regular doctor.
Right.
They might have certain restrictions with respect to certain food items you are taking, or certain other lifestyle things which they might. I don't think anybody will ask you to go and start doing a certain spiritual practice on a daily basis
Right.
for the medicine to fit. No, not really. So they are not really no. But I hope and wish that most of us are able to go into the path of.
So
But
Mr.
no, as a medicine.
Gurbachan Singh wants to ask us a question. So you can please leave your question in the comments. This is
Yeah, sure.
regarding the lockdown, and many people would be going through it. So you can please anything to feel relaxed instantly, as too much anxiety in mind due to lockdown event. I think this
Okay,
is a
thank you so
very
much, Mr.
relevant question
Gulbachan. Yeah. So
because
actually, this
in the
pertains
lockdown
to
it's quite difficult.
true. So before I take this up, I want to give you a small background about what I'm going to talk about. So I don't know if you know of a gland called the thymus gland. Are you aware of it, Divya? Have you heard of thymus? No. Okay, so this is a gland which is at the base of our neck. So if you can
Okay.
see, are you able to see me here? Yeah. So
Yes.
it is not we cannot kind of feel it. It is behind the
Okay.
sternum. So this is the sternum
Okay.
that goes down. So it is behind it, but it is roughly located around this area. And this is an organ which is the most active in a neonatal. I mean, in a baby while the baby is in the womb of the mother.
Okay.
So that is when the thymus is most active. And then post the child is delivered, and as the child grows, it gradually starts to regress. And by puberty, we have seen that it kind of completely stops working, and gradually it kind of becomes just a muscle. It kind of becomes
Okay.
useless, so to say. And
Okay.
it can also be called a vestigial organ then later. So, it has
Okay.
no role in the body.
No function.
But the interesting thing about thymus gland is that it is responsible for generating certain cells in the body, which are known as the T cells. So T cells are a very, very important component of our WBCs. So I'm
Okay.
sure you are aware, WBCs are the fighting cells of the body. So the
Right.
WBCs are the cells which, right? So T cells are a very integral part. So WBCs also has a whole bunch of cells to it. So T cells are a part of that army. and
Okay.
thymus is responsible for producing them. So it would
Okay.
have ensured that by puberty you have enough of them in your stream,
Okay.
and you are able to kind of sustain it throughout your life. But interestingly, it is observed that you can keep your thymus active longer.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
And the way of so there are a couple of ways of doing it. One, of course, is through mindfulness, which we will just do an exercise, a quick one now, to show you how you can do that. And the other is through physical tapping. Okay,
Oh,
so you just take your first 3 fingers of your hand. It doesn't matter right or left hand, whichever. Just loosely, very loosely. You don't have to be too tight. Just 3 loose fingers, and you tap in this area. So you tap below your sternum, I mean below your neck area and a little above it. So below it and a little above it. And you do this for about 15 to 20 times, right? And that's it. And ensure you've done a few deep breaths before it and a few deep breaths after it. And interestingly, it seems to keep the thymus active.
wow.
Yeah.
Even
And
if it is
it does have,
latent after the after puberty, if it's latent, you can reactivate it.
yes.
Oh,
So what happens is it doesn't suddenly become latent. It
okay.
gradually starts to regress. So it gradually. So
Oh,
I think by around 60 or so, it is completely a muscle.
oh, okay.
But before that, it is kind of there and it is still alive
Okay.
and functioning. And so if you kind of are able to give it this boost, it seems to work. So
Wow.
especially in a time like now when we are all talking about immunity and eating right and ensuring that we are, able to fight out all the wrong viruses around us, then I think any boost in the right direction helps. So this can be done anytime during the day, but preferably if you can start doing it twice a day, morning and evening, right? With just 15 to 20 minutes of 20, sorry, not minutes, 15 to 20 times of tapping, which would be 15 seconds roughly. So you could do that.
Nice.
And another way of energizing your thymus is through a mindful exercise, which if you want, we can quickly demonstrate. Can we,
Yeah,
Divya? Do we
let's
have?
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So here the idea is we are energizing our thymus gland. Okay, so I've roughly told you where it is. So when I say you reach there, so I'm talking about the thymus. So you're just mentally picturizing it. It's like a visualization exercise. You just imagine that you're reaching there. Okay. So what we are going to try to do now is pull the energy. Now we are all energy. Okay. By the way, so we are pulling our energy
Yeah.
consciously. Okay, consciously from one end of our body to the other, and from below our body to the top, and from top of the body to down. Okay. So I want everybody to close their eyes. Take a few deep breaths. Yeah, just to center ourselves. Now we are imagining that there's some energy on the right hand, on our right hand. Okay. So we just imagine this energy coming up through our fingers of the right hand. It goes up to our palm. It travels up to our right elbow, moves up to our right shoulder, and to the thymus in the neck area. Yeah. And from there, this energy travels down to our left shoulder, down our left elbow, to our left wrist, and through the palms out of our left hand fingers. Yeah. So continue to keep your eyes closed. Now imagine we are pulling the energy from below. So we start pulling the energy from our toes in both our feet. We imagine this energy is traveling up to our heels of both the feet, goes up to our knees, up our thighs, to our shoulders, sorry, to our stomach, and up to our neck, where we have the thymus. And from here, it goes up our face and out of our scalp. Yeah, it goes up into the sky. And now we are pulling it down again from the top of our head through our face into our neck where we have the thymus, and it's going down our stomach, down our thighs, our knees, our heels, and out into the earth through our toes. Take a few deep breaths. You can repeat this exercise anytime you're feeling tired. And if you do it consciously, believe me, it will give you that instant boost of energy. You can now open your eyes whenever you're ready. Yeah.
Awesome.
So this kind of instantly gives a boost to our system.
Yeah.
But it has to be done consciously and with full awareness. You can repeat it a couple of times. So basically the energy is going in from one end, coming out to the other, going up and down the body. So you do this a few times and you'll soon be able to have a mastery over it. Do it quickly anytime you want to feel, awake and alive before a physical exercise, when you're beginning to, feeling a little low in the middle of the day, when you're feeling sleepy, it can just wake you up.
Yeah. So I think the answer to Mr. Singh's question is basically, to do a meditation or, this exercise or
Just a
simple
few,
breathing
yeah. See,
exercise.
sometimes relaxing is just a few deep breaths. So
Right.
I'm sure all of us have had an injection when we go to a doctor, right? Take a deep breath. Yeah, before the doctor puts in the syringe,
Yes.
she advises you to just take a few deep breaths. Why does she do that?
Right.
Because deep breathing, so when we say deep breathing, it should be breathing from your stomach, right from your abdomen. So when we breathe from the abdomen, the vagal nerve, which is the nerve in the stomach, it gets activated. And it sends the signal to your brain to just kind of relax and calm down. So deep breathing has that instant effect of relaxing you. So, you can, so why do you need to deep breathe before your injection? Because the doctor wants you to kind of settle down and not be too anxious, right? So just do
Right.
that. A couple of breathings, breathe in and breathe out, and just sit out for a couple of seconds. And I think that's just boost you up. And if you can master
Wonderful.
thymus activation, I think, yeah, you're
So
welcome, Divya.
we are
Yeah,
towards the end of the session, and I have one last question, and then probably we can close it, and we can have more questions. So if anyone has more questions, please, this is the time to share it in the comments, and you can get an answer, or you can drop it too, and we can get an answer from Dr. Shalini.
yeah,
So
sure.
I don't have any disease, okay, and I'm actually doing okay. Does that mean I'm okay and I don't need any boost of immunity or anything like that? Do I need to prepare for it because I feel I'm okay?
Yeah. So when we talk about healing, from where is the word healing derived? Okay, healing is derived from wholeness. Okay,
Okay.
so healing is basically derived from the word wholeness. So when we talk about healing, we do not need to be distressed, or we do not need to be diseased, or we do not need to be really having some problem to ask for healing or to want to
Hmm.
healing. Because
Hmm.
we are whole only when we are born. Okay,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
only a baby who is born is completely whole and has not gone through any, of course, the trauma of birth. I'm sure the baby has enough of that, but that is the only time we are whole. As we progress and as we start growing up, there are so many situations and so many things which keep coming along
Hmm.
that would have, kind of broken some part of us, and we actually are no longer whole. So when we get into some kind of a discipline or a meditative practice, or we are going for some kind of a homeopathic preventive medicine, we are actually preparing our body so that we do not fall sick. you know. So when I say I'm happy, I have absolutely no problem. Why do I need to do this, you know? I'm doing very well, and I have everybody around me. My family is here. I have a great job, and you know, so yes, that's great. But then we are working towards ensuring that this is how it continues, you know.
Yeah,
So, and that is
yeah,
where the role of preventive medicine is huge, and not enough is being spoken about. So please make sure that there is some sort of a practice you are constantly engaged in,
yeah,
to
yeah.
ensure that you kind of continue to be, you know, this good, vibrant, happy self.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Shalini. I think,
Pleasure.
it was an amazing, amazing session, and
Thank
there's so much to reflect upon. I'm sure, many of us are going to have so many pointers that we are immediately going to, use in our daily lives. And also, please feel free to share your contact details so that people, if they want to get certain inputs
Sure.
from you, they can connect with you.
Yeah, so we are
Um,
available on HomeoCare. I think we can give you the link to that. We are also on
please
Instagram
do.
with the same name, HomeoCare. But you can DM me on
Yes,
my Facebook, which would be through this. And yes, we will leave our numbers also in case somebody wants to directly
yes,
contact. Definitely, yeah.
absolutely. Thank you so much for doing this with us. Anything that you would like to leave for the Thea team, please feel free to do that.
I'll do that, definitely. And thank you so much for having me and giving me this opportunity. But you know, putting everything just to sum up, I would just like to say that you can you can heal yourself anytime, any stage you are in. So it is never too late. So please,
Yeah,
whenever you are ready and whenever you are ready to take the action, do get into a practice and do have that discipline
absolutely.
too. You know, you can, anybody
Absolutely.
can, we all can.
Anyone can. Absolutely. Thank you so much. It was
Thank you.
such a wonderful Sunday evening to spend
Thank
with
you.
you. It was just
Pleasure.
amazing. And from the entire team of TheiaScape, we thank you and Dr. Arvinder for the awesome work that you are doing. You are truly
Thank you, Divya.
transforming lives. And
Thank you.
we would be in touch with you, of course, and probably have take one portion of the subject and get dive deeper probably later. But I think
Sure.
this was a great, as part of the awareness towards alternate healing. I think this was a very basic and
Yeah,
thought-provoking session, and we would definitely be in touch, and we could look at various subjects too. Thank you so much, and
sure.
have a wonderful Sunday and week ahead.
Thank you,
Bye
Divya.
bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.